Hello. Today we're gonna do something slightly different by going through a workflow that I put together. I recently had a meeting with a client and they gave me a couple of sheets of paper, and I'm not a paper guy at all, but obviously it's a client, so I'm not gonna tell them how to live. I'm just gonna show you a workflow that I personally use to deal with these kind of situations easily, quickly, and inexpensively. Okay, so the first thing I do is I take a picture with my phone, and once I take a picture with my phone, it comes out pretty lousy looking. You can see it's nothing special. As long as you got all the text there, that's all it is. And it winds up in Google Photos, you just need to take a picture, so at least it's somewhat legible. Just you take their piece of paper, you take a picture with your phone, and wherever you might be, and next thing you know, it's Google Photos. Next step is to get this text in a way that could be useful. Obviously, it's just a graphical document. It's not really useful to do any manipulation with it. So at that point, what I do is I simply drop these pictures into Google Keep. Because Google Keep has OCR capability, I want to be able to get text out of them. Since we cannot drag the documents directly into Google Keep from Google Photos, you can easily add them. So I have this one note I set up for this OCR purpose, which stands for optical character recognition, meaning it translates graphical content into text. And so what I'm going to do is include an image. By clicking on the image icon, I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to find this particular document. These are both the documents I was working with, so let's take the bigger one and say open it. And then it opens it, and of course when it opens it, it winds up being still graphical. It's there, but it's still graphical. And so after just waiting for a few seconds, it usually doesn't take it much more than that. When you pull down this More menu below, you will see an option to grab image text right there. And once you do it, it goes ahead and drops all this content right there into this particular note. And then you just can easily click inside the note, hit Control A, Control C to copy the entire content, however big it is. And now we have our page as text. We can leave it here if we want to, or we can take it to any other programs we want to manipulate it with. And so in my case, even though this is not mandatory, in my case, I want to put it in NotebookLM. We jump into NotebookLM, and then over here, I could actually add a source. And when it says upload sources, one of them is paste text. So I can copy the text into using this copy text option, hit Control V to paste, and there's all my text I just copied from a Google Keep note. And when I hit OK, it's going to do the usual thing it does, and you can have all kinds of reports, all kinds of features NotebookLM has. And what to get out of these notes is either use one or multiple notes to come up with an audio overview, as they call it, and then it sounds something like this.
Today, we're digging into something a bit different, looking at how technology decisions get made at, well, the really small scale. We've got some internal documents here, a systems review, a response plan from a small company, and it's all about how they're planning their tech future. Our mission, really, is to pull out what matters most to them. What are their priorities? How are they handling tricky stuff like AI risks? And what's their actual timeline for getting things done? It seems surprisingly paced out.
And that scale point you made is absolutely critical. You just can't look at these plans like you would for, say, a medium-sized company. We're talking about a business with literally 4 core users. It's right there in the response doc from October 22nd.
4 users really shapes everything, doesn't it?
Totally. 2 need full access to everything. 1 does specific things, QuickBooks, managing website stuff, heavy Microsoft Office use. And the last one, purely data entry. So every single decision, every dollar, every change discussed here, it's all viewed through the lens of what those 4 specific people need right now. That's the bedrock.
Okay,
so you get the idea. You have the idea of what they're talking about a little bit. You can see how sophisticated and how smart it is, and you can see how useful it can be. And so this is an example of this workflow where somebody gave you a piece of paper, okay, and literally within just a couple of minutes that paper got transformed into audio file with people explaining details of what's going on in all these pieces of paper. It doesn't have to be one. You can have 50 sources in one notebook. Then you can generate this audio overview based on one or all of them if you want, and then you have this either 4 15 or 30-minute report, basically, podcast, that you can then listen to when you're at home, when you're at work, when you're in a car, doesn't matter where. And you have this audio that allows you to listen to what's going on. The way they explain it is pretty easy to understand, and you have all the information, and you just went from paper to audio in just a few steps. If you like this workflow as much as I do, and I use it all the time, you can certainly leave me a comment down below and tell me how you're using this kind of approach. And if you've never thought of using this kind of approach, now you know how to do it, and you can do it as well. So for now, that's all I have for you. Until next time, I'm still Oleg.
Happy Halloween from PCS.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.